Hi everyone, welcome to the syllabus page for English 102. My name's Emily Vega and I'm your instructor this semester. So English 102, or College Reading and Composition 2, is a survey of literature course, and we're going to analyze and write about a variety of short stories, poems, a play, and a novel. And I think we're going to have lots of fun this semester, and I hope that there will be something for everyone, even if you don't feel like studying literature is your idea of a great time. In this video, I'm going to talk about just some of the key points from the syllabus and some frequently asked questions. Please make sure you read through the syllabus in its entirety. It's important that you know what the expectations are, what the course is going to look like, what the policies are before we begin. So please make sure you read this entire page. This video just covers some key points. So to be in this class, you have to have taken and passed English 101 or the equivalent class at a college or university with a grade of C or better. If you're trying to reach me, the best way to do that is through the Canvas inbox. Just go to inbox and my name will pop up and you can send me a message. You can also email my Pierce email or my LACCD email, but my Canvas inbox is a little bit more convenient and I tend to reply to that more quickly. Let's talk about office hours. So my office hours are Monday through Thursday from 2:30 to 4. If you want to have a Zoom conversation with me, so a screen-to-screen conversation, send me a message in the Canvas inbox and I will hop on Zoom and we can have a conversation together about a draft of your essay, a thesis statement that you're tinkering with, a question that you have about the reading, a question that you have about the homework or about a quiz. I am here to help, so please feel free. In fact, I really encourage you to contact me during my office hours. If you email me outside of office hours, you will not receive an instant response the way you would if you email me during office hours, but I will respond to you as soon as I get your email, no later than 24 hours after the fact. If you want to get in touch with me really quickly though, please make sure you contact me during office hours and I can contact you as soon as I get that email, or we can have a conversation on Zoom. I also have something called coffee break, and coffee break is a 1 hour period of time that I set aside every Thursday from 2:30 to 3:30 for my 102 students. This is totally optional, but sometimes when we're reading a story that really challenges us, or we're reading a play that is really confusing to us, or we're reading something that we really love and we want to share our ideas with other people who are reading the text at the same time, sometimes it's helpful to actually have a discussion with people face to face. So I would love it if a couple of you, or maybe more than a couple of you, would hop on throughout the semester to share ideas or ask questions or talk about the readings in an informal way. This is totally optional, but for some people it's nice to have a more humanized component of the class and to share ideas with each other. That's Thursdays during my office hours from 2:30 to 3:30. I want to focus on how this class works. I know for many of you this is not your first online class, but for some of you it might be. There's a difference between synchronous online classes and asynchronous online classes. This class is asynchronous. That means that there's no set time that you have to log in. There are no live lectures on Zoom. Instead, the videos are posted each week and you can view them on your own time. And there are assignments that you have to do throughout the week, but you do them on your own time and on your own schedule, as long as you're meeting the due dates. This is really important. You have to log in and complete assignments by the end of the first week in order to remain in the class. If you're on my roster but you have not logged into Canvas by the end of the first week, that means that you're inactive. It's the same thing as if you didn't show up to a face-to-face class. So you can be dropped to make room for students on the wait list. Also, if you're in this class, I want to make sure that you're set up for success. And if you're not logging in, then you're not accessing the course. So I want to make sure that if you're in this class, you're set up to be successful. If you don't complete assignments, a few assignments in a row, 4 assignments in a row, or 2 weeks worth of material, whichever comes first, you might be dropped. Generally, if you're a student who's been doing all the work and suddenly you kind of disappear, I will reach out to you and email you to see what's going on before I drop you. But if you haven't been doing a lot of the work already and you miss 2 weeks, you will be dropped. So please be aware of that. Most assignments are due by Wednesday and Sunday by 11:59. Of course, you can always submit them earlier, but that's the deadline. I'll talk in a little bit about the difference between a due date and an open until date, because I do have some late work policies. For tests, you'll have a 24-hour window to take them. Obviously, you're not going to take 24 hours to take the test, but within that 24-hour period, you can carve out an hour and a half to take the exam. The most important part of this section is probably this, the course delivery, how I deliver the content to you. Every Monday by noon, you will see a module for that week. So this week you are viewing module 1, and that module will include video lectures, it will include readings, it will include assignments, discussions, quizzes, essays, things like that. So that's how the course content is delivered to you. So modules is going to be really important. Each week you want to check the module, and the module number corresponds to the week, right? So in week 3 of the semester, you are completing module 3. I'm trying to make it as simple and user-friendly as I can. Let's discuss the required text. So technically, all of our course readings are available to you on Canvas. So I will link them either as docs or PDFs. Actually, I do both. I link them as documents and as PDFs. But I highly recommend that you print out the short story, the poem, the play, because most students find that annotating on paper helps you remember what you read. You don't lose track of what you're reading. So I highly encourage you to print out the readings. If you're like me, you might prefer to have all your readings in one physical book or in one anthology. So most of our course readings, except for Frankenstein the novel, are in this anthology. So if you would prefer to have a book, you can buy Literature, Approaches to Fiction, Poetry, and Drama, edited by Robert Diani, and this one's the second edition. You'll see that mine is very well loved and kind of worn down. The poems, the play, and most of the short stories are in this anthology. You can find pretty inexpensive used versions online if you would like to. The required novel is Frankenstein. This is also technically available for free online through Project Gutenberg, and I will link it on Canvas for you. But for this one, I implore you to buy the physical version of the book. I can't require it, but I really recommend that you buy the physical version of the book because you're going to want to make lots of annotations to prepare for the final exam and for any essays that you write about Frankenstein. Whether you get an ebook or use the PDF or use the physical version, please make sure that you get the 1818 version of the text. I recommend the Norton Critical Edition. You can see a picture of what it looks like right there. That's because that'll be the copy I'm working with. So when I'm referring to page numbers, I'll be referring to page numbers from the Norton Critical Edition. Let's discuss course requirements. This class is weighted. That means each category has a percentage associated with it, and then within each category, there are specific assignments that have a point value. This is true of most college level classes. So for 20%, we have your research paper, and that includes a draft, an annotated bibliography, and a prospectus. Don't worry if you don't know what those things mean yet. I will teach you those things. For 15%, we have essay 1. That will be an essay about short stories. For 15%, we have essay 2, that will be about poetry. For another 15%, we have test 1, that will be about the play, the importance of being earnest. For another 15%, we have test 2, that's the final exam, which will mostly cover Frankenstein, but will also cover material from throughout the semester. And then for 10%, we have discussions and homework, and another 10% quizzes. Sometimes people take discussions and homework for granted. They think, oh, it's just 10%, it's not worth very much of my grade. But while I'm a pretty hard grader on essays, when it comes to discussions and homeworks, if you follow the instructions, if you attempt to complete the assignment and you follow those instructions, you can expect high scores. And for a lot of students, that might be the difference between a B and a C or an A and a B. So please make sure you take the discussions and the homework and the quizzes seriously. I've included links to special services and the tutoring center. There will be a separate page about tutoring, so I won't cover the tutoring center right now, but please make sure you read that on the syllabus. I've also included information about plagiarism, which is using the words of another, having someone else write your essay, cutting and pasting from another source without citing the source, buying an essay online, using an essay that you've written in another semester. All of those things, as I'm sure you know, are plagiarism. So please make sure you familiarize yourself with a college plagiarism policy and ask me if you have any questions about plagiarism. The last big thing I want to talk about is late work. This is really important. Assignments are due by the due date listed on Canvas, but this is not the same as the open until date. So the due date is when the assignment is due if you want all of your points. But I do leave assignments open for an extra week in case a student wants to turn in the assignment a week late or up to a week late for a 10% reduction. So please make sure you know the difference between a due date and an open until date. You can turn in any assignment late, but it will be reduced by 10%, and you only have 1 week to do that. I'm also going to give you a late pass. So you are allowed to turn in one assignment. This does not include the research paper or the final exam, obviously, because those are at the end of the semester. But you can turn in one assignment, like essay 1 or homework, up to a week late without any penalty, without any deduction, if you simply write late pass next to it. But with a late pass, you can only use it one time. All other late assignments will have a 10% reduction. You can revise essays, or you can revise one essay per semester, and I average the 2 scores. There are some requirements for revision, so please make sure you read those requirements if you're interested. And then at the end of the page, I've included an overview of the readings. You'll notice that we begin the semester with short fiction. That's because I think short fiction is the most accessible to most readers. Then we move on to a unit about poetry. Then we move on to the play, discussing drama. And then we end the semester with our course novel and lots of literary criticism about our course novel, Frankenstein. Our final exam is Wednesday, June 2nd, so please mark that on your calendar. You can take that anytime on June 2nd, but you want to make sure that you highlight that day on your calendars. I've also included some important holidays and drop deadlines, things like that, so please make sure you're aware of those. The majority of the class will be available to you on modules. If you have any questions about the syllabus, please let me know as soon as possible. When you're done with this page, please click Next.